A woman once said to herself that she's tired of living. What's she living for? That she's tired, she doesn't have this, she doesn't have a house of her own, she doesn't have a job, she doesn't have a business, she doesn't have a child, she has no husband. She was just lamenting, she was crying. And guess what? She was instructed, or she was led to an hospital. She went to an hospital to visit certain sections in the hospital room. Guess the first place they took her to? It was the intensive care unit, the ICU unit of an hospital. She went in there and she broke down in tears. She started crying, seeing people living through oxygen that is counting every second. She looked at herself. She said, wow, there is no oxygen machine planted around me. I can breathe in air and breathe out. I can take in oxygen as I like, and I can breathe out carbon dioxide. That was her point of testimony. That was where she began to see the goodness of God in her life. They took her to the orthopedic center where people had broken legs and broken arms. She saw how people's legs were hung up. She saw how people's legs were being supported by woods, by sticks, by irons, by lots of things. And they were begging God, if only they could walk again. They were begging God, if only all these things can be removed from them. They were telling God, if only these things can pass them. Oh Lord, how can this cup pass over me? And it wasn't sure when they are leaving that hospital. She went further to the pediatrician section where we have children that are born with different defects. Little children that were born with certain problems. Some were prematurely brought out, and some have had various issues at birth. While some had stillbirth, instant stillbirth, lots of things at the hospital. She was confused. She ran out of the hospital. She was screaming. She broke down in tears. She knelt down. She was begging God. Even when she was crying and telling God, oh God, how great you are. What a mighty God you are. Heaven and earth adore you. Angels bow before you. She saw another woman. They brought the woman to the hospital just for her to have a bed rest. What happened to this woman? This woman is not barren. She wasn't barren before. She had a husband, but her children was involved in a ghastly motor accident while coming back from the boarding house. 3 of her children died at the spot. What are we saying? You got to have hope. You need to have hope. You need to be thankful. You need to be grateful just for life, for breathing in and breathing out, for walking with your legs, for walking with your hands, for seeing people, for being able to perceive, being able to receive fresh air, even if you've not eaten, seeing water to drink. You should be thankful. Indeed, God is great. It's only a fool that saith in his heart that there is no God. Repent and surrender your life to Jesus Christ. God is able. He's able to save you.
Rise to your feet.
God bless you.